Yo, internets, it's that time again. Your favorite podcast is headed down to A3C for this year's A3C Festival. Head over to www.a3cfestival.com to get your passes, your 2-day, your 3-day, your 4-day, your 5-day shit. Just do a 7-day. Just make sure you check us out. You know what I mean? The Combat Jack Show. We out here. And remember, www.a3cfestival.com. All three coasts.
Get ready for combat.
No escaping.
Get ready for combat. Get ready for combat. Yeah. The Combat Jack Radio Show. Stand up.
Yo, everybody, it's Stretch Armstrong.
And my name is Bobito Garcia, aka Cool Bob Love. If you love this podcast you were listening to, you should check out our new show, What's Good with Stretch and Bobito. This is not your average interview show. We're going to be telling stories that you're not going to hear anywhere else. Find it on Apple Podcasts, the NPR One app, or however you find your podcasts.
It's What's Good.
Hey, yo, internets, you are listening to the Combat Jack Show. You know, I got a lot of things to say, man. It's real hot right now.
Very.
It's real hot in this country right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some of you, I don't want to insult y'all, but some of y'all passive Negroes is like, yo, give this nigga a chance, and you know what I'm saying, we'll see. And you know, some of y'all Negroes is like, we can't judge, but like, you know, I mean, we late in the day right now, and it might be too late. You see what's going on right now. Shout out to Heather Haynes. What was her name? Heather, the sister.
The young lady who,
yeah. Can you look that up, please?
Yeah.
I don't want to desecrate her name by saying the wrong name, but you know, we live in a time right now where, I mean, even on 8th Street and Avenue D here in Alphabet City in New York, you know, some motherfuckers got the Confederate flag up and the whole nine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And you know, like I mean, Combat Jack Show been up for a long time, B. It's our 7th year. And we've been telling y'all for a long time, like, this shit is real. And, you know, some of you millennials is like, yo, Combat, this shit could never happen. Millennials don't think about racism. But what's up with this alt-right shit and this new Nazi movement? Them niggas ain't old. They young. You know what I'm saying? Heather Heyer. You know, RIP Heather Heyer, man. She lost her life, you know, to an act of domestic terrorism. I'm not going to, you know, we got a great guest. I'm not even going to bore y'all. But this is what I got to say, man. Like, we've been in this country for over 400 years. And we've been talking that truth for over 400 years, you know what I'm saying, through slavery, through Reconstruction, through Jim Crow, through civil rights, through the hip-hop movement, through the crack era and Reaganomics, you know what I'm saying, through the Clinton era, you know what I'm saying, through the Bush era, through the Obama era, and y'all motherfuckers is like, yo, this shit don't exist. Stop talking. Combat, stop talking about that white privilege and white racist supremacy. Well, motherfuckers, now's the time to talk about it, right? If y'all ain't never talked about it, talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I gotta say to my white comrades, man. Like, I love a lot of y'all, man. And the ones that we've had the opportunity to build with face to face, you know what I'm saying, heart to heart, or even through this amazing thing called Twitter and Black Twitter. I see y'all. But you know, this is not black people's problems. You know what I'm saying? This is not a black people problem. This is not our fucking mess. White people, if you fuck with the show, this is your fucking mess. Y'all created this shit. We fought so hard against this shit. We lost so many lives. And I know it's been throughout the years, you know what I'm saying, with the abolitionists and cats that lost their lives in the civil rights movement. White people have always stood up. But at the end of the day, this is not our fucking burden. We built this fucking country. We cleaned up after y'all for free. Saying a lot of us lost a lot of our lives. A lot of us lose our lives today consistently. Yep. This is your fucking mess. You know what I'm saying? We not going to lay down. Nope. We still going to talk about it. We still going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not stupid. You know what I'm saying? We still going to risk our lives. And I mean, we have no choice, you know, as a black nation to speak on this. But at the end of the day, this is your fucking mess. You white people that's comrades. You know what I'm saying? Like, I fuck with y'all, but y'all remain silent and neutral and want the shit to blow over. Like this is your fucking problem and this is your fucking mess. I'm not trying to alienate anybody. I'm trying to galvanize motherfuckers, but I'm tired, B. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I've been talking this shit for a long time, and there's people that has done far more than me. You know what I'm saying? I can't even stand in their shadows. You know what I'm saying? But white people, clean up your fucking mess, B. Clean this shit up right now. This is the first time it seems like the whole country realizes this shit for what it is. Clean up your fucking mess, because we tired of cleaning up after y'all. Let's start the show. Yo, what's up, King?
What's good?
Man, I'm you know what I'm saying?
How you feeling, bro?
You know, it's a crazy time, man. You know, there's a lot of things happening, man. Once again, shout out to Mogul. It put us on this new platform. I've had some new meetings, man. Got some great opportunities that's coming through the Combat Jack show that may possibly bleed into the entire, you know, Loudspeakers Network. You know what I'm saying? It's like we raising the bar. We've been raising the bar. Niggas, who held y'all down for 7 summers?
We gentrifying the Loudspeakers Network.
Exactly. We about to gentrify the Loudspeakers Network. Shout out to Mena. What's going on, B? Yo, I'm really happy, man. We've been in engine room for about 4 years, and now we officially have the official Studios. LSN Studios. We have this little wing in this studio. This is the first record. This is the first official recording out of this exclusive Loudspeakers Network room. So shout out to everybody that made this happen.
Yes.
Mena King, you know what I'm saying? The
Chris
entire
Morrow, what up?
Chris Morrow, Matt Raz, the entire official original Combat Jack Show crew, Dallas Penn, you know what I'm saying? Premium Pete, Just Blaze, you know what I'm saying? Ben Hameen, everybody, you know what I'm saying? And then all the shows under the Loudspeakers umbrella, man. We about to do this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How you feeling, man?
I feel good, man.
Yeah.
I think I'm loving the conversation in light of the nonsense that happened, you know, a couple of days ago. I like the fact that everybody's more. I know the elections was one thing, but now it seemed like the conversation is ramped up. Yeah. The wild thing for me is I'm seeing a lot of white folk holler about white supremacy, where I thought that was like a sin. Like I used to see Malcolm X talk about it, or Minister Farrakhan, and it was like, they shouldn't be saying that. That doesn't exist. And white people are trying to differentiate themselves from white supremacy.
But if you're benefiting from it, benefiting from it, you might have the purest heart in the world. You know what I'm saying? Your heart might bleed when you see a person of color, you know what I'm saying? A person in the LGBTQ community, or you know what I'm saying? Or the Jewish community or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Bleed. Your heart might bleed. But if you're enjoying the fucking benefits of this shit, and you know what I'm saying? If you're able to walk through any neighborhood in this fucking country, if you're able to get, you know what I'm saying, rentals and property, and your kids are accepted to any school, no question, any job, if you're benefiting from this shit and you ain't talking about it, that's you, B.
Right.
Is this too heavy, man? I don't give a fuck right now. You know what I'm saying? It's go time.
Trump is that dude, man. Like, the most intriguing person on the planet.
And you giving him too much credit, man. He's an idiot.
It's like no matter what you say negatively, positive, you know, if there's anything positive, the dude, he's the most intriguing person.
Is it him though? Is he intriguing, man? Or is it once again? Is he not the perfect example of what white privilege is? You got the most incompetent motherfucker that has no experience in this shit. This nigga continues to blunder and fuck up. We got nukes on, like we not even talking about the nukes on our shoulder, B. You know what I'm saying? We're not even talking about the nukes on our shoulder and how, you know what I'm saying, possible treason to our nation with these Russian motherfuckers. Listen, you know that picture with Jay?
Epidemic.
You know this picture with Jay and Kanye laughing?
Yeah.
That's the Russians right now. You know what I'm saying? So like, this nigga is the most incompetent president we've ever had. And yet the white power structure continues to make excuses for him and prop it. Like, Obama was the Jay-Z of this shit. And you see how they gave that brother a whole lot of problems. You know what I'm saying? So efficient, so clean, so stately, so presidential. And this clown right here, he all right. He's going to, man, listen, man, we got to tear this motherfucker down. All right? Shout out to all my sponsors. You just keep getting these checks and the whole line. We got a great guest on the show, man. He makes great music. And over the years, man, you know, one of the things that I've learned through, you know, the whole art of storytelling and narratives, and particularly Mogul, is like, you know, there's some cats, man, that, you know, they always got it. They always on top, and that's amazing. But there's some cats that they got it. You could tell that they're special. You know what I'm saying? That they're gifted, but then life comes at them. And it's not how, you know, you can't measure a man by how he is when he's floating on top. You measure a man by when he gets some hits. And when they get knocked down, and you know what I'm saying, and how they come back up gracefully like it ain't nothing. So without further ado, let's welcome to the Combat Jack Show, Mr. Ace Hood. What up, Zo?
What up, my brother?
How you feeling, man?
I'm blessed.
Yeah?
I'm blessed, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Feeling good.
What a time to be in New York City, B.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. You know, but I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, man. What's the temperature like in Florida right now? Like what all
hot.
Yeah.
It's hot as hell.
I'm talking not the temperature, but like the climate, like the political climate.
The political climate, you know, honestly, man, I haven't really been following. I've been on my own way.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Just honestly speaking about it. But you know, everybody's in an uproar
Yeah.
at this point. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people made mistakes. A lot of people made decisions. And now it's time to stand behind those decisions.
It's time to be accountable.
So, yeah, it's time to be accountable for it, you know. So, all you people that stood around and, you know, didn't vote and said all this other stuff. And
What about his
now we got
emails?
this, you know what I'm saying? And got this guy in the office and all this stuff is happening. It's like, you know, we got to pay attention at some point.
You know, one of the things you just said that's real important, like, I definitely don't listen to my own advice. Like, I get so caught up in this shit. You know what I'm saying? From the minute I wake up, I'm locked into CNN or Fox or Twitter. And I could tell sometimes, man, that this shit is affecting me, you know, in not a good way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I woke up the other day, sleepwalking, talking about Trump is strangling me. And I was sleepwalking and I'm like, I'm not even joking.
Real.
And I got to realize that sometimes I got to stay. We got an amazing silo. We got an amazing craft. Sometimes sometimes the best thing we can do is disengage. Not you white people. Y'all can't disengage, but you know what I'm saying? For everybody else, we got to disengage sometimes, man. Listen to some of your new music, man.
Yes.
To Whom It May Concern. And came with the posse. It's like I fell out, man. This shit is crazy, man. You got a new album coming out, Trust the Process.
Trust the Process.
August 21st.
August 21st.
Talk about these two
yes,
heat
sir.
bangers, man.
To Whom It May Concern is a very honest record, a very true record for me. To Whom It May Concern is like subconsciously a record to myself, I think, most importantly. Like, I think it's kind of like, you know, anytime you go through obstacles in life, you know, people tell you to write them down. Like, you go to a therapist, like, write down what it is that you're feeling. Like, how do you feel? And I think this is just me writing my ideas and my feelings down on paper for like the last time dealing with this situation and all that I'm dealing with, and like ultimately moving forward when it comes, you know, but it's like I have to put it out there in order to allow new. Let me get this off my chest and say what needs to be said, say what people are already thinking, what they're inquiring about. Let me give them that raw on what's been happening with me, and then move on from it. You know what I'm saying?
So To Whom It May Concern, was this a letter specifically to yourself? Was it a letter to your fans? Was it a letter to anybody else specifically?
All the above.
Okay.
All the above.
Okay.
So I had that in mind. I was like, initially it was like, all right, cool. I want to write something to my fans because I've been going for a while, even when it came to dropping albums and all that stuff. And just the fans were just confused about my whereabouts. So I'm like, all right, to whomever it may concern, this is for you. Whomever, you know what I'm saying? If the shoe fits, wear it type thing, you know? So, that was my whole energy behind it.
So how's it feel, man, when you drop, you know what I'm saying, records like Bugatti, you know what I'm saying? Like you got all this heat and then the fans get amped up and then you're not dropping the next joint. Like, how's that feel, man? Like when you take a step away, cause this, you know what I'm saying? We were talking about the old school, you know, when we were off air, and one of the luxuries you had as an artist is you could drop a project and then take a year or two off and come back. Like, how's it feel in this internet age when you do that?
To take breaks?
Yes.
It's, for me, it's a little bit like liberating for me, like, cause I get time to like work on myself, you know, but in the same token, it's discouraging for the fans and for the people that actually support me. So I think it's important that I be honest about that and know what they feeling. But for me, I have to put my best foot forward. You know what I'm saying? And if I put my best foot forward, you would be able to receive and understand and love what it is that I give you a lot more, because I took that time to make it right, to figure out my thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said it was liberating for me, because it's like I'm dealing with all these things personally that I have to, you know, deal with and trying to, you know, when it comes to working on music and stuff like that and get my life together. So it's like, all right, cool. But I understand what the fans are feeling, you know, but for me, when I do, in which I have put that best foot forward, it's like, all right, I can give you the best of me at this point.
Yo, you got a secret weapon with you. Well, not so secret anymore, but this cat, Foreign Tech. Like, my blood clot.
Hey, he's a problem.
Blood clot. Like,
He's a problem.
Like, tell us about Foreign Tech, man.
Foreign Tech is from Florida.
Okay.
He's from Palm Beach. I met Foreign Tech earlier in my career. He came around. He would like pitch me records maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. Young cat, man, coming out, you know, doing his thing. And his music, we hadn't worked together for a while. You know, he did some records for like Bryson Tiller and a few other guys and stuff. So, to me, it was just perfect timing. You know what I'm saying? He would hit me up like, he was like, yo, we need to do a project together. And, you know, for me, in my mind, I'm thinking about my actual project and what I want to say and what I want to put together. Then I just went for it. I'm like, all right, you want to do it? Let's do it. And as we started building, I'm like, yo, Tech, this is cause he was like, yeah, you know, I got this new sound. I got this new tag and all that. And I want to introduce this to the world, but I want to do it the right way with the right artist. And, he felt like I was the right guy to do that, you know, and I felt like he was the right guy for me to like reintroduce my first project and, you know, being in my new situation and whatnot. So, we felt it was right.
So he produced the entire album.
He produced the entire project.
No, that's good. I love that shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I love
Hand
this
clap
shit,
for
man.
that. Hand clap
No,
for that.
I love
Yeah,
this, man.
yeah.
I love this flip, man. Because back in the day, and I hate keep going on to back in the day because
You're not stuck in the
everything.
90s.
I'm not stuck in the '90s, and not everything in the '90s was dope. And to all you conservative
That's a
rap
fact.
niggas, man, get out of that conservative
That's a
head.
fact.
But that's a whole different issue. But like when you had like the Gang Starr with Premier, you know what I'm saying, or you know like just exclusive producer projects, it had a different sense of cohesiveness. You know what I'm saying? Like I hate listening to a lot of these new albums right now. And even though it's the same artist, the shit sound like a compilation album. You know what I'm saying? Cause it's like, there's no cohesiveness. You know, shout out to Jay, you know what I'm saying? And No ID, you know what I'm saying? For
Shout out
444.
to
You
them.
know what I'm saying? But talk about the difference between working with different producers and working with one producer, man.
I think it's stronger when you two understand each other vision, right? If I understand where you've been and where you're going and you understand it likewise on my end, we can create a stronger product, right? So that's how it works for me in my mind, as opposed to just, you know, and I'm huge on like energy, man. You know, people put certain energy in their music and records and stuff like that. And sometimes it may not connect with the next record after or the record before.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's just being mindful of that, which why it just sounds like a bunch of just records together.
Random shit,
right? So for me, I just wanted to approach it totally different. You know what I mean? We created this shit like strictly from scratch, like being in the studio, locking time in and say, all right, actually we just created, like we didn't have a title. We didn't do anything. I said, you know what? I just want to be free. I just want to create. I don't want to have any type of restraints on me. None of that. I just want to work and say what I want to say. I don't want any outside voices. I don't need no help on this right now. What I need to say, it needs to come from me and where I'm feeling and how I'm feeling and where I'm going. Simple. And the place that I'm in, point blank period. And we went for it.
Now let's talk about the work process. Like, you know, you got a lot of, like, I remember being in the studio years ago with Jay and Primo was like, no, say that different. Or Clark Kent was like, say that different. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, was that the relationship with you and Foreign? Like, was he saying at some points like, yo,
sometimes
Ace, like, can you put a little bit more emphasis or, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, you know, not to brag on myself,
Yeah.
man, but
Nah,
to
brag,
be
my
honest,
man.
and not even, but this is just pure honesty. Like, you know, he trusted me with his, with his beats. He trusted me that I would create good and powerful content on these records. You know what I'm saying? So, our critiques would probably look like, oh, that's dope. Maybe if you kind of go up a little bit on tone, that'll be right. Or
That's dope.
maybe a little bit on this, but, it clicked. You know what I mean? And I was receptive to his, you know, just as well as he was receptive to mine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it clicked. It wasn't no ego, none of that. We threw all that shit, the prideful shit all out the window. Let's just create good music, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it for real. And that's what we did.
You know, one of the things that, life, you know what I'm saying, the ups and downs and the hardships and the obstacles brings is good music, man. You said that, you know, part of this To Whom It May Concern record is to yourself and the healing that you had to go through. Can we go into that, man? Like, what were some of the things that you had to heal through, man?
Man, I had to heal through life, man. You know, issues back of when I was a child, dealing with issues as a father. You know, didn't know whether I was good enough to be a father.
Isn't that some shit, man?
You know what I mean?
They don't give you a manual when you walk out.
And you know, the thing about it is, dog, is like, which is an interesting point, is that a lot of the things that I went through didn't necessarily have to do with music. So the moment that I got better with being a man, a father, a partner, businessman, my music got better. The more that I got the opportunity to open my mind up to all these other things, this automatically started getting better. My content and the things that I started talking about just got better because I was working on everything else outside of the music. Because sometimes we think we got to focus on the music in order to elevate us
Right.
when it was total opposite for
Right.
me. I actually like stepped away and I was like, you know, and it was rough, you know what I'm saying? Because I was thinking about whether or not I had the motions of whether or not I want to do it. This is what I want to do because, you know, sometimes when you get in circumstances and shit just so jammed and you can't really find your way out, it's like, man,
Back
how
out for a
long
little
am I
bit.
going to be here?
Right.
Like, that was my thing. How long am I going to be here? And
That's a scary place, man.
it's very scary, you know, not knowing and just trying to figure it out. And you new to everything around you. Like, life is asking so much. And I'm just like, well, how do I be this? But I got to be, and how do I, you know what I mean? So I had to answer all these questions at some point in my life. And that's where the process started. I'm like, all right, I have to figure me out. Like, at this point, like, you know, I got what it is that I want, what it is that I want to do, what it is that I want to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the moment I started doing that is when things for me like changed.
You know, this is the first time we're meeting, so I really don't know you, but just from the outside looking in and in this conversation, you're confirming it. You seem very centered. You seem very centered, you know, beyond just how most of us feel centered in the physical, you know, plane. I'm not going to ask you your religion, but what's your spiritual practice, man? Like what enables you to dig your roots deeper than the shit that we can touch?
What allows me, my things that I do on a day to day is meditation. You know, just really sitting in peace. Really know
once a day, twice a day.
Sometimes twice a day. Mainly in the morning. Morning time is the best time before I do anything. That works really well. Yoga at times works well too. You know, but the meditation was the thing. You know, because that's what allowed me to like sit in peace while madness was happening. All right, what's happening right now? Is it true? You know what I mean? Is this real? Like, is this real? Like, you know, or is it just your ideas, or is it just your fear that's working? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's our fear that's kind of spinning and throwing us out. But for me, I had a lot of fears that I was dealing with. So it took for me to like sit down in peace and just breathe, you know, and just understand what it is that's happening to me, and to be able to focus on how we going to push forward. How are you going to push forward? Is it true? Okay. How are you going to push forward? How are you going to do this? What is it going to look like, type thing?
Right. You know, there's this Buddhist saying that says that your individual mind is a wild animal. And if you don't control your mind is going to control you. And what that's led me to believe is I see a lot of people that's going through crazy shit. And yeah, we all have circumstances that we go through, but I look at a lot of people and I'm like, yo, your mind is creating some of that shit that you really going through.
Of course.
You know?
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
Like, you ever find yourself in some situation and it's not because you did it physically, but you thought about it so much that you manifested that shit, the worst shit.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I've been in plenty of situations like that, and I consider myself actually a master manifester myself. You know what I mean? So I understand how powerful the mind is, and, you know, the law of attraction, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that energy that you call or you put out, you will receive that. I believe that. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's real. Like,
yeah, it's just that's just, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, not everybody do.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? But it's real. You know what I'm saying? And I've been to a place sometimes to where I overthink and I'm working in my mind. But as soon as I'm able to break the cycle, it's like, oh, okay, we're not going down. All right, it's going to be all right. All right, we pulled through. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? And that allowed me to start trusting myself even more and say, all right, you actually do know, because I do know. Even when I doubt myself and say, well, I don't know. Well, you do know. You know what I mean? It's just got to make a decision. Sometimes we're afraid of making a decision because we associate the fear and the loss and all that, you know, losing and stuff like that. But a loss isn't a loss until you give up and you decide to just, all right, I'm not doing this anymore.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But everything else is just a lesson.
You know, I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No, you didn't.
Now, talk about how difficult it is also, like, you already doing the work individually with quieting your mind or enforcing the realities that you want to manifest. But talk about the difficulties between doing that and then people around you. That might be like, yo, this ain't going to work out. Oh, no. You're like, yo, will you shut the fuck up? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that shit throws me off my pivot a lot.
No, of course. And for me, like, especially dealing with it at such an early stage of just, you know, spirituality and learning having all these new ideas and opinions, because I didn't have them when I was earlier on in the game, right? So as I started kind of like practicing this whole thing and searching and exploring, you know, spirituality, like, there were plenty of people that were around me that are not around me anymore. Didn't understand what the fuck I was doing. What are you doing? And they would actually discourage me because everybody else was doing this. Why would you want to go do this when everybody else is doing this and it's working for them? So that's how a lot of people around me looked at it. It's like, yo, Ace, Why are you going over here to go create this new thing and make shit tough when your fans and
that ain't gonna work?
And that ain't gonna work. Like, don't nobody want to hear that. Niggas told me to my face. Don't nobody want to hear that. Don't nobody care about that. People care about this. Cars, clothes, blah, 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 women, all this other stuff. And in my mind, you know, at some point, you know, thank God for Queen, you know, we were like, you know, cause for me, it was really able to like see certain things, you know what I'm saying? And understand like, okay, I see what this is. And you know, in their mind, it's fear. And they afraid. Why? Because they depended on who? Ace to lead so we could, you know what I mean? We can do this thing together and they can, you know, be compensated. You know how it goes, right?
Course,
so that's what it was. I'm not protected anymore. That's how they feeling. I'm not protected because he's doing this new thing.
He's going in this area that's scary. It's
scary
where he's going.
I want to go over here to some shit that I know that's working. Right. And that's how people mind frame, which is why Circle went from being this to like instantly like, okay.
Do you ever feel obligated to kind of like teach them the way if they want to be taught, rather than cut them off? Say, yo, just drink this water real quick though. It's kind of cleansing. It's green juice. Mm-hmm. You know, put down the no, I don't want to say brand. Just put down that cognac. Mm-hmm. You know, drink this green juice.
Only if you open minded enough.
Yeah. And you know, you know the cats.
And that's what I'm saying. You know the guys. Like, you know, there's some guys that, you know, grew up a certain way in the streets and, you know, they institutionalized from prison and other stuff like that and seeing certain stuff. So it's hard to break that cycle as black men because they feel like, you know, they're going to disassociate themselves. Okay, well, this is how we live and this is what it's about in the streets. And you can't, you know, people over here can't relate. You can't relate to what's happening over here. Ain't nobody going to feel that. So for me, I'm not finna push this energy and try to force you to believe what I believe. Nah, I'm going to walk this. And then you're going to understand, I'm going to lead by example. That's how I feel.
How'd you get into this path of like enlightenment, man? Or self-enlightenment or the journey to enlightenment?
Me, a large part of it, you know, well, a part of it was my girl, you know, and her having, you know, her advanced level of spirituality and just ideas and thoughts and stuff like that. But the funny thing is that I always wanted to get into meditation and doing yoga and all these great things. Like, you know, so I probably like tampered with it here and there, but didn't really understand what it was that I was doing until, you know, I decided to start really like studying and being and going to classes and having a spiritual advisor and actually asking questions and having help with it. You know what I'm saying? And seeing that, oh wow, this is powerful stuff because life for me was changing. And that thing built a discipline and a respect level and a glow in every single thing that I had and single thing that I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm like, wait a minute.
The spiritual shit really works?
Yeah, this spiritual shit, like, it's really like, nah, it's popping, really, like, you know, shit happening at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm being patient, you know, and things are happening. Things are happening for me, man.
The universe is working.
Yeah, the universe is working for me, man. And I'm just like, wait a minute. Like, this shit, like, nah. Come on,
wait. Sometimes you gotta be like, did it really happen?
Just exactly? And I think for me, once things started to uncover, like people started to be uncovered and started to see certain things, that's when I knew that, you know, cause speaking to my spiritual advisor, she would tell me, you're not keeping your third eye open. Like it's flickering for me, which means that I would see shit and just
get distracted, you know,
or not even just see it and not even pay attention to it.
Oh,
as opposed to just seeing something, the little making a change, removing that, and just exactly because we, you know, plenty of times I've seen shit and just thought I seen it. I second guessed myself, and then it came back to bite me. And I was like, but I felt that from the jump. Like you know, and I told myself, I'm like, you got to listen to yourself, man. Start trusting yourself. Like that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, yeah.
And then partner yoga, like what is partner yoga, man?
Partner yoga?
Yeah.
Actually, man, we just did hot yoga, man. That shit was pretty intense.
Bikram or just hot yoga?
Hot yoga.
Yeah. You ever did the Bikram?
The Bikram yoga.
You've done Bikram yoga, right,
Queen?
But it's not the same though. It's not the same.
What's the Bikram word? What is it?
The Bikram is it 32 or 30? It's like 30 something positions. And it's still in a hot room, but it ain't no joke.
That's a lot more intense. A lot more intense.
It's a lot more intense, but if you do it,
I'm going to go try it.
Yo, no, please, man.
Russell shit, right?
Yeah.
Nah, that's not beef. That Russell don't fuck with it. Russell does hot yoga, and
He do the hot.
Yeah, I had the fortune to do Russell yoga with Russell and hot yoga, but the Bikram shit, like, put him on that Bikram yoga, Queen. That shit is official.
Yeah,
it's official. Coming back to this physical plane, man. You know what I'm saying? You've had amazing hits. You've proven yourself over and over again. You've worked with some amazing teams and some amazing, producers. But yeah, some people still say that, he's underrated or he ain't, you know what I'm saying? How does that feel? Does that come into your conscious where motherfuckers might still doubt you?
I see why.
Yeah. Why?
I see why. I was never my full self. You understand? I was only, that was only a partial part of me, right? So I understood why people would underrate that old Ace, right? Because you wasn't getting the artist that I truly was. You know what I mean? You was getting, a form of what people thought, right, who I, thought I was. This guy with chains and Bugatti and all this great stuff, which I'm forever grateful for. But it was never fully me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I like to tell myself that now that moving forward, like that tag no longer lives with me. It no longer lives with who I am today, the man that I am right now. The being this free artist and moving forward, free of restraints and all that, free of label, free of ties, free of stigma. Like, I'm like, there is no more underrated tag for me. In the past, okay, cool, because for me, I had a body of work, but people paid attention to, the hits, right, which for me, it was a disconnect. So when you have a disconnect, it can never be fully whole in my mind. So you might underrate it.
What did that disconnect do for you, man? I mean, do to you?
The disconnect?
Yeah, at the time that you had the disconnect.
The disconnect for me, I think the disconnect for me, man, I would say it built strength for me, It really allowed me to like really chase after this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to know what was the reason. Why was there a disconnect for so long? Like even though it was flashing and out, I'm like, man, why is it a disconnect with people? To a certain extent it connected, but I'm like, this side was being, valued more than the actual, my actual thing that I wanted.
The quality,
the quality, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it was always me chasing that thing. It was like, I want the fans to know who I am, what I stand for, and what I represent, So
on this new album, man, what are we gonna see? Like what manifestations of your new self are we gonna hear and see?
You're gonna see trueness. You're gonna understand who I am as a person. You're gonna understand who I am as an artist and what I have to offer. You're gonna get a whole new energy, man. I think with this project, you're gonna be inspired. I think you may shed tears as well. You'll feel alive. You know what I'm saying? This is just a very true project, a very free project for me, man. And everything is clicking on all cylinders, with this project. It's who I am. It's what I wanted to say. And, the fans are just going to get the new me, the full Ace. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm excited about, for them to truly know who I am, truly know what I have to offer, truly know how dope of an MC I am, truly know how free I am, truly know how much being disciplined and focused and, all this yoga and how much, my outside life with sports and all that and training, how much that pushed me over the edge, the healthy lifestyle, everything, so I think the fans are going to get a full dose and what it's like to be, a free artist and a human being. And knowing that, like, it's inspiring to know that you could just be, as opposed to just, we got to make up all of these restrictions
and follow.
Exactly.
And Talking about freedom, man, like, when I was an entertainment attorney, I did hundreds of artist deals. Mm-hmm. And like maybe only like 5% of those artists ever came out. And I always wondered to myself, man, like looking at artists that were locked in on deals and they didn't have the creativity to be who they wanted to be, or more specifically, in terms of like the queue of records that was coming out, it wasn't their time. So they had to wait 1, 2, 3, 5 years. And I just used to look at grown men and grown women just wither away because they couldn't express themselves. And, you work so hard to get a deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You work so hard. You fight so hard to get in this industry. But one of the worst fucking things you could ever do is get in this industry and be locked. Can we talk about that feeling? Like, were you there?
I was in a situation, man, to where, I just needed some type of understanding, and granted, man, it's important that for me to understand that I'm so grateful for all the circumstances and all the situations I've been able to be attached to, being with Khaled, being with, Atlantic, and being with Def Jam and all of these great people, because, granted, all of these were like lessons for me, for real, and it helped mold me into the person that I am today. So even though I didn't understand it at that time, I just tried my best to trust what was happening. And though it was frustrating many days, many nights, but I just told myself, there's something on the other end of this, and I just got to stay faithful and loyal to whatever this journey is taking me. You know what I'm saying?
What was it that eventually helped you pivot from your situation? Like, what was it that broke the shackles?
I just had a different vision. Right. It was time for me to say something.
Right.
I've been quiet all my life. I always been, the humble thing is always a part of me. But, back, I didn't share ideas. I didn't share opinions. For me, it was just saying that, I want to be free, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got this vision and I got so much to say, and I want to represent myself, on the highest level and reach my potential, and that was just my thing. I was like, you know what? I need to do this. It's important that I say what needs to be said because my legacy means that much to me,
and I'm not getting into the gossip shit, what I'm saying? But from the outside looking in, man, like Khaled seems to be the source of positivity. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his thing. He's like, his whole thing is about encouragement. And even like when y'all started collaborating, like he just, the way he can't hype somebody, nobody could hype somebody up the way Khaled does, man. So when you actually have that conversation, and I don't care how enlightened two men or a man and a woman or any human being is, no matter how enlightened those individuals are, when they have a clash, it's a clash. That's when our human nature comes out. You know what I'm saying? Can you talk about that conversation and like the summoning up the courage? You know what I'm saying? The ego comes up like, fuck that nigga. And then like the resolution.
Honestly, man, before we actually like had a conversation, it was probably like one of the scariest things that I've ever done, like as a man. Cause this is my brother we talking about, you know what I'm saying? This is
hard.
And this is a guy, not even, part of it was hard, for the simple fact that I didn't know what was on the other side for me. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these great things is happening to him in his career, and I'm excited and I'm watching all this happen. But for me, it was just, it's like the time where you like, all right, you gotta be a man, where life say, all right, you gotta be a man. You got to step up. So what you going to do? That's how I felt like life was doing to me. And we sat down and we had a conversation. But the important thing between us is that we got love and respect for one another. You know what I mean? It was really a brotherhood between us. So the moment that, and I seen fans and people going crazy and wilding out, but it would just took for us to have a conversation, and he supported what it is that I wanted to do. Ace, if this is what you wanted to do. So it's like nothing that he did. So I was never in a position to like,
it was what you had
exactly. I was never in a position to where I'm like, oh, I'm pointing fingers. Nah, it was never that, because I made the decision. This is what Antoine McAllister, wanted to do. I wanted to be free. You know what I mean? And it's no knock against him. This is just my life. I got to walk my own journey and my own path. And it's still my brother. You know what I'm saying? But
I like
for me, and that's it, because at the end of the day, like I say, being in this place, which was tough, and I told myself in the midst of all this, while everybody like, yo, if this and da-da-da, going crazy, I was like, I'm going to handle this with love. I'm going to handle this situation with love. And that's when I knew I reached a level of just elevation that I was like, the world has to know about this. Because I wasn't upset. I wasn't mad. The conversation, I hugged my brother, love on my brother. Thank you for all that we've done. We laughed about what we've been able to create, and he wishes me nothing but great success along my journey, and he supports it. And that's, to me, the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what mattered to me.
No, you real fortunate, man, because I've known cats that have gone through the things that you've gone through with regard to a label situation, and you know, the person might be your brother, but then when it comes down to business, they're a scumbag and like, fuck that, I got 16 more records on you, man. You real fortunate, you know what I'm saying? Like not having to go through, you know, let's get the lawyers and fuck you, and you know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, you know, it's World War II, World War III. And the fans are in it, and it's messy. But
also, man, people create that for themselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes you create that energy.
Of course.
Like, that's the thing. I was able to figure my thing because it's the energy that I went into it with. And then what I created, some people might manifest that, think in their mind, I want out of contract, and people think, it's such and such, tough, whatever. Me, nah. It's love. It's love. And that's what's, you know, I came in with it, and I'm gonna leave out with it. It's love. Because, you know, I ain't got no bitter, you know, it wasn't no bitter thing or nothing like that. Some, you know, some artists may be in circumstances to where they might be a little bitter. And when you have energy like that, you know, and you on the other side of the table, and you happen to be my boss or CEO, that ain't gonna go over well with you, is it? Yeah. You know what I mean? But if I come and say, hey, I appreciate everything you've done for me. Thank you. Thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, you helped me take care of my family. You were a part of this process and a part of me growing and a part of me being where I am today. Thank you for this journey. Now I got to walk forward. I got to walk my own path. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was just it.
How did it feel, and how did you manage though when, you know what I'm saying, when people sense the tension and all of a sudden they became snakes and they tried to make it you versus him, and then people saying this, and people's like fanning, you know what I'm saying, fanning the red meat and the fire that the fans, and some of these cats ain't even fans, they just want to see somebody take somebody down, you know what I'm saying, the fuckery. Like, how did it feel like when other cats was jumping in and trying, you know what I'm saying, and now you're hearing certain things, or Khaled's hearing certain things, like, how did that feel?
That felt, you know, I thought that was interesting. But for me, it's important that you always go to the source. You know, as long as you connected to the source, it ain't no way there'll be any miscommunication. Yeah. Like, you know, if we ain't having a conversation, they can say what they want on the outside of the door. You on the outside. We on the inside of the door. We really know what's happening when it comes down to it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like, I can't listen, you know what I'm saying? And even though going through this time, man, it wasn't always like, you know, I'm in this great place. Like, you know, I was going through my emotions as every man do, you know what I'm saying? So there was times that I could have went left and I could have went bad. You know, I was frustrated. You know, I was trying to figure my thing out, you know, and when life ain't necessarily going your way, you know, it's upsetting. You know what I'm saying? But I just tried to figure out another way to kind of channel the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? But you definitely had like the outside people ranting and raving and trying to make it something larger than what it is. Oh shit, Ace done. Oh shit, they done. Nah, bro, we good. Yeah, we good.
So this album is your first independent album, completely independent.
Completely independent.
What's the difference between, you know, saying working with a machine like We the Best, and then this being like, you know, Hood Nation officially?
Like, it's my vision.
Yeah,
it's what I want it to look like. It's what I want to say. That's the difference in this. It's the fact of me being free. It's the fact that, you know, I get to say what I want to say. I get to be who I want to be. I can be as creative as I want to be. I can elevate as much as I want to be. You know what I mean? Like, this is my ship. I make the decisions. I know what it should look like. And for me, good or bad, right or wrong, win or lose, I made the decision. I made the decision to do this, to do that. And that was my main thing. Cause, you know, I want to write my own story. I don't want to, you know, write someone else to write it for me. You know what I'm saying? So out of all, it's like, this is the thing. This is my baby. You know what I'm saying? This is who I am. So for me, it's like, I'm forever grateful, man. Yeah. And I'm excited, most importantly. You know what I'm saying? So
are there any aspects of working with a label though that you miss?
Nah.
You know, you're the first person that ever said that to me. Cause most cats are like, yo, we're free and it feels great, but I do miss, you know what I'm saying? Like the video budgets or this budgets and the whole nine.
We work hard enough. We build our own budget.
That's amazing.
We build our own budgets. Why we can't? Why can't we do it?
Yeah.
They did it. Why can't I do it too?
Yeah.
If I give you great music, great content, and I continue to further myself, not only in music, but other entities and other situations in my life, why can't I do it?
Yeah.
I ain't only talented in music. I'm actually an athlete too. I actually can act too. You know what I'm saying? It's other things that I can do that we will be compensated for.
These are things that you're working on right now?
Of course. Yeah? Absolutely. I don't just do yoga and all this stuff and be fit and healthy for no reason in my life. Like, nah.
What kind of movies you want to do, man?
Action movies. And I'm doing my own stunts.
Really? I mean, you see what happened to Tom Cruise though, man. You can pay a stunt man.
I know you can. I know you can.
The sister just died recently too.
Yeah. For Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2, like one of the first black stunts women. just died, and you could pay some. Come on, man. You
you
don't got nothing to prove, man.
Not even.
My brother, you so spiritually,
listen,
elevated right now. You don't need to do your own.
Listen,
you don't need to do your
all
own
I'm
stuff.
saying,
But the ego.
if I could jump over a few cars. Some simple shit like I ain't trying to be, drag racing and be in the car and or jump off a building and I ain't trying to wild out like that now. But I just think that some of my stunts or whatever, I want to be a part of that. I want to live that.
No, that's dope, man.
Like I want to,
jump out the window.
Man, I want to jump
out.
out. Yeah, I want to backflip over the car, hit the floor with one hand, you know what I'm saying? Jump back up, the whole movie. I want to do all that.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to have you put the cat out of the bag, but are there any concrete discussions right now with any potential projects or any properties that are out there?
What do you mean?
Like any actual shows or TVs that's in the works or?
Stay tuned.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
All right.
Stay tuned, my brother.
TV or film? You want to do the big budget joints?
Depends. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. I'm not gonna make any decisions. I'm gonna kind of let and see what's right. And what makes sense for me and my brand and where I'm headed.
That's dope,
I ain't
man.
just willing to just work with anybody just because the paycheck is in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It got to be based on what my brand is based on. I'm a man of integrity, a man of respect, a man of discipline, a man of focus. So for me, a brand needs to embody that. You know what I'm saying? Loyalty, all them things matter to me. And building something new and all that. It's important that's part of being great about having my own shit is that I get to call them shots nah, I'm good.
I can't front. You used to play football, so
yeah.
And not to be cliche-ish, but I can see you in one of my favorite shows that I watch, Ballers.
That's my brother too, Rock.
Yo,
that's my
Ballers
brother.
is my shit.
That's my brother, man.
I can
Rock.
see it. I don't know if
Listen,
it happened. I called it.
Yeah.
Any given Sunday too. We need.
Let me shake your hand, man. That's my guy. Yeah.
Yo.
Ballers is fire, man.
You got to explain to me, man. We had the fortune a couple of years ago of sitting down with Uncle Luke, man, and he talked about, the earlier days of the hip hop industry in Florida and Miami, man. What is it about Florida that creates such uniquely incredible talent, man?
Me personally speaking, because I'm from Broward. I grew up in Broward County, Florida. That's very different from Dade County.
Of course.
You got the Tri-County, Palm Beach, Broward County, Dade County. I grew up in Broward. I think the overlooked feeling for us. It's a lot of talent where we come from, and a lot of it is starting to really bubble out the pot now. But that feeling of just chasing glory, it builds for good character and that passion. I think that's what I would say, because the struggles and the trials that we go through down there in Florida, for some, because at some point people never really consider Florida artists as real spitters.
Oh, never.
And all this other
we
shit,
did
right?
back in the day.
Especially that's what I'm saying. You go back in the days,
we
New
was
York
what the
and all
fuck is
that.
that
They
Luke shit?
man, what this bounce shit they doing down there? They can't, you know what I mean? So for me, especially for me, it's important that I'm always pushing that envelope to let niggas know, when it come to handling and I do that. When it come to whole lyricism, it's my strength. I live that. I embody that. I breathe that. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's always chasing that too. Just letting them know, I need, they're going to respect what's happening with this shit. You know what I'm saying? You're going to respect it. So I think that continuous chase is just, it builds good character, and it builds that passion and that hunger. Y'all want to, y'all ain't feel me? Okay, I'm coming back. You going, that water different. You can't deny it.
Can't deny it, man. How's it feel, man, to have such amazing mentors that have represented the state, you know what I'm saying, and carried the state, be it Miami or Dade or Broward, and having cats like Khaled or even Ross fully endorse you. How's that feel, man?
Felt good. It's a blessing, man, to work with so many great people. You know what I mean? And these guys embraced me as a young brother early on in the game when I first met them. I think it's cool, man, for guys like that to reach back. You know what I'm saying? To just kind of show love and show you that it's possible. You know what I mean? Show you that this position right here could, you could feel this position also, and I'm forever grateful for that, man. Working with them and having relationships and stuff like that, and them just paving the way and also just pulling me along for the ride and the journey so I can kind of see things and learn and understand. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to them, man. Shout out to Khaled, everybody, and Ross and all them.
Yeah, it's crazy how the biggest rumor was you was going to go to MMG, man. That was one of the biggest. That was so the crazy, biggest
man,
rumor.
Because constantly I see that, go to MMG, go to MMG. You know what I'm saying? But that's not my calling. That's not where it's meant for me to be. It's all love and respect. But
Was Ross trying to get you, man?
Nah. That I don't know. If Ross would ever do that, because it may be a conflict. You know what I'm saying? Like a conflict of interest in a sense, right? So, and then again, it may not be. But for me, I just know that I just wouldn't necessarily explore because, I'm just headed somewhere else.
Right. Yo, how's Wayne doing, man? You speak to Wayne? Lil Wayne?
Not too often, but I hope he's well, man.
Yeah, because
Wayne, one of my favorites.
You guys have had some amazing hits together, man.
Yeah,
and it's funny because, I wasn't always the biggest Wayne fan, you know what I'm saying? But then as his career took a turn, and and then just looking back, I'm like, damn, I really miss Wayne, man. You know what I'm saying? And I just hope he's in a good place, man.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
But I can imagine how tough that is.
Yeah.
And I had my struggles and shit, but that's a real situation you're going in. And it's nothing like being an artist and not being able to fully live out your potential because you're stuck in a situation, dog. That gotta be, honestly speaking, one of the toughest things, to not be able to express yourself on a full level. When you was used to doing it for 15 years, 20 years prior to
That's
to
what
that.
you've been doing most of your life.
You've been doing most of your life now, to find out that, somebody's saying, okay, you've been able to drink, now I'm gonna put a like
cap
that's
on it,
that,
yeah.
I never imagined that or even envisioned Wayne ever like
Being
what I mean,
suppressed.
being suppressed. I'm like, it's still like all new for me, but I love Wayne with every inch of me, man. Pause. But that's my brother.
That's a good
I've
pause,
always
man.
that.
Yeah. The pause game.
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
had to pull up with that. You did. It's important. It's important.
This is a pause friendly faculty.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that's Wayne, my brother, man. I want to see him prosper.
No, definitely. Talk about the Zoe thing, man. Because for a while I was like, is Ace Haitian? Is he Sac Marseille, or is he not? Like, talk about the Zoe thing, man, and your strong affiliation and representation.
It's
I like the Haitian community.
Yeah.
in Florida, man.
Well, it's always been a part of my culture, I feel like, and it's always been a part of me. And not only that, like being in Miami and being in Broward County, like, that's all there is, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, growing up, we used to have a dead end next to where we live, and it used to be 30, 40, 50 people playing, and it's nothing but all the Haitian homies come over, they mom cooking up. You can walk by the house and smell her cooking, you know what I'm saying? So we just always been close knit. I'm going to their house, we eating, like, we catching the vibe, like we just building together. And for my life, in every segment of my life, there's always been like my tie to like the whole Haitian culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of my good friends are like Haitians and stuff like that. And they just Zoes, and they accept me as one of their own, and I, that's like my second culture right there, for real, for real.
I mean, you actually been to Haiti, man.
I've been to Haiti.
How was that, man?
Haiti was amazing. Haiti was like, you would think that I was in the game maybe like, 10, 15 years. It's crazy like how much they respected me, and the love was very receptive out there. Like, the idea of like kids running after your vehicle, banging on your vehicle, loving you like that, getting out. You got these armed security guards, and it's just nothing but love. You got 8,000, 9,000 people out there to come see me waving Haitian flags in the air. You know what I mean? And for me, that was a moment. And I think, at that point, I'm like, this culture will stick with me forever,
Where's your family from originally?
My family's from Florida, where they
Okay.
Port St. Lucie.
Right.
My grandma, God rest her soul, they live in Port St. Lucie, Stewart area. Got family in South Carolina as well, but mainly Florida.
You were such a disciplined athlete, football player, right? What else did you play?
Just football.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you got injured, right?
Yeah.
Like, what got you into rap, man? What got you into rapping?
Rap was just something that I was just doing, honestly. It was just like, I was just making rhymes, shit rhyme at that point. I was playing ball, and ball was just like, I was one of them kids. Mom come through, she got the jersey, she waving the, the tag in the air about, my son, he doing this thing. Like, from in my mind, shit, I'm going to college, I'm going to NFL, everything. But music was just always like there for me. I had my homie 4/5 who actually like brought me in to like the whole music thing and kind of helped me unfold. God rest his soul, he passed away. But he was my introduction really into the music industry.
Now, was this during your tenure as a young athlete, or was this after?
This was during
Okay.
the time. This was like, this had to be like 10th grade.
Okay.
10th grade is around the time me and 4th, 5th. And it's like earlier on, I was recording, like 9th grade, I was recording in like little closets and kind of just messing around with it. But 4th, 5th introduced me to like the real side. He's like, yo, he put me in like the first official studio. He was also a producer. He would produce records and give to me. Like he was also like my disconnection from fully being in the streets because he was in it. And he's like, little bro, this ain't what you about. This ain't what you gonna do. I got this, you know, and he hustled and did what he did in order to like fund me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Were the streets calling you? Were you close to the edge, man?
I just wanted to provide for my family. You know what I mean? And sometimes, all you know is what you see. You know what I'm saying? So for me, all I seen was my homie hustling and him getting money in my mind. You know, if we young, how do I get that money too? So I can provide for my people. But the main thing that kept me kind of focused was just knowing that I don't want my mom to visit me behind these prison bars. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be heartbroken for her. You know, so, at that point, I just made a decision to say, all right, I need to fly this straight trail and, you know, make this music thing really work because I believed that I was talented and other people believed as well. So I was like, all right, we might have some shit.
Yeah, when you got injured on the field, right?
Yep.
How'd that feel when you realized, when the realization hit you like, yo, this is not gonna be my life path anymore?
You know, it wasn't like the specific injury that kind of like finished me. It was over time. You know, like I would go to the doctor and the doctor would always say, oh, it's jumper's knee, it's water in your knee. But I think it got to the point to where, cause I played defensive back. So trying to squat and backpedal and then every day my knee being swollen in
was
practice.
The injury?
I don't know what it was to this day, man. But
it was no ACL or shit like that.
Nah, it wasn't nothing like that. But the thing about it is, it was just swollen to the point to where I couldn't really bend it out. And I didn't understand what was happening. The doctors or the trainers weren't saying much of anything. Now imagine being cropped in this position and backpedaling. I can't really cut as quick as the other guy. So, you know, my performance kind of started declining. You know what I mean? So at that point, one practice, you know, when my shit was just sore, I was like, you know, this could be a sign, man. This, you know, it might not, the love just wasn't there. And plus my coach, he didn't really think I could do it neither.
Right.
He didn't really think that I can do this shit. So, you know.
But it was a dream of yours, right?
Yeah, football was a dream. Yeah.
So what does it do to you, man, when you realize you can't fulfill that dream?
It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, you know, for me. On just trying to figure out, all right, what happens to life now? What happened to me now? You know, at this point, like, I'm out of high school. I don't know what to do. You know, and the shit that they teach you, you know, where I'm from isn't enough for the real world. So life hit me hard. I'm like, all right, cool. What's going to happen to me now? What needs to happen? I need to get a job. I need to figure things out. But for me, it was just discouraging because I'm like, this is all I knew. And from Florida, where we from and how we were raised, this is what we know. Black kids are just into sports. They fast, dress, black, and we, you know, that's we athlete, we physical.
Y'all produce some football players.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's pretty much all we know. So for me, you know, and I didn't, have no other like education but just high school, and I wasn't gonna go to college because college wasn't for me, and I knew if I went it would be for all the wrong reasons.
Right.
So
why was college not for you?
Just sitting in classroom and stuff like that, I knew it wasn't realistic. Trying to listen to another teacher for like 4 years, I knew that wasn't for me off the rip. I knew I was gonna go there and look for women. Off the rip, no joke. I knew I was gonna go there. I mean,
at that age, that's not necessarily a bad thing, though. I mean, that's not necessarily a wrong reason.
This is a bad thing.
Okay.
Let me tell you why it's a bad thing.
He's from Florida.
Let me tell you why it's a bad
Tell me
thing.
it's why it's
Because I was going to Palm Beach Community College. And, you know, they had like little pool tables. The girls would come in and vibe. We gonna play pool. We gonna vibe. I'm gonna flirt. Then I'm leaving.
Yes.
There is no class.
Right.
You know what I mean? The class already happened.
So you already knew.
I knew.
You was gonna be a bad student.
Not even, I'm just not gonna be attentive. And if I can't put 110%, what we doing? Like, I ain't finna go in here and just waste my time and waste my family money or some shit.
That's gotta be one of the most brilliant reasons I've ever heard any motherfucker say.
Yeah, bro.
Well, I'm not going to college. Like, I wish my son said that. I'd be like, nigga, get that.
Yeah, I'm not, bro. I'm not finna go in here and waste these people's time.
Right.
I'm not finna play with these people, man. No. I'm not finna, you know, play with my mama money. She worked hard for that. Or me trying to figure out and get a job and put all my money towards that. No, sir. I want to win. I want to be great. You know what I mean?
So
like,
what was the distance of time between, you know what I'm saying, you being out of high school and then you figuring out this rap thing, like 3, 4, 5, like how long did it take you to figure it out? And how did you figure this shit out that you knew this was going to be your life's work?
It took me about 2 years.
Okay.
Took me about 2 years, right? Funny story. I was with Dollars and Deals label. That's like, we had a mutual agreement on that, you know, I would be, you know, honored to their label or whatnot, you know. So we would make collaborative projects and stuff like that. At some point, they felt like that I could actually do it as a solo artist. And I tell people this story, man, and this is the moment where like things changed for me. And this is the reason why also, and these like actual pinpoint moments in my life that happened to me, which allowed my faith to kind of stay. I never forget I was going through a situation like, I was rapping and doing the music. This is probably like a year and a half after I got out of high school. And, you know, my mom had just had surgery on her knee. So, you know, I'm kind of like, you know, things are happening. And, you know, at this point, I want to be the man of the house. My stepdad isn't really doing much at this point. You know, he wouldn't even necessarily take out the trash. You know what I'm saying? So, I never forget the moment of my mom being in the room, my uncles, my stepfather, everybody gathered around her. And I never forget, he had a wall unit in our house and looking over, and my mom is in tears. You know, and my mom is asking my brothers, not my brother, I'm sorry, but my uncles, and she asking my stepfather, them, just like, I'm in jeopardy of losing this. Because my mom couldn't work. My mom had to have knee surgery. My mom had like bad knees and stuff because she was working, you know, driving buses and doing all this other stuff. So, she had to have her knee surgery done. And, that had to be one of my most powerful moments in my life, to where I seen it and instantly got emotional. She never knew that, you know, and I'm just watching. She was vulnerable, you know, and she couldn't, do anything about it. And at this time, man, I just was like, you know, I prayed about it and I was like, man, God, please, man, you know, provide me with a way to be able to take care of my mother and my family, please, you know, to get us out this circumstances, to get us out this. And literally probably about 6 months later is when I met Khaled and our whole situation unfolded.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy, man. What made you realize that you were good? Because, I mean, you know, rap game got to be the most competitive game on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Everybody feel that they can rap. And you got some local unsung heroes that you know is the best that you'll never hear of.
Yeah.
For the rest of your life or their lives. Like, what made you feel what made you feel this shit was real?
I think what made me feel like it was real was, I think the moment I ran into Khaled. I think before I was just like doing some shit, I think, for me. But the moment I ran into Khaled, and I kind of explained my situation, I was willing to rap for him on camera, and, you know, I had my bio and everything like present there. You know, I pulled up at the radio station. I never forget. He pulled up in the Baby Blue Phantom, and, you know, and I just wanted to just rap for him. And at that point, he was just like, you know, I got to run. I can't really listen to it right now. So, you know, you got a CD or anything? And I gave that CD to him. In the moment that I did that, I didn't know, but that night he was like, yeah, I'm gonna call you back and 11 o'clock at night, whatever. So 11 o'clock that night, he called my people back. I never knew that until the following day. And that day I was like, I might be kind of good at this. Like, I might have a chance to do something, you know, but even then I never knew that I was actually good. You know, like it probably wasn't until like me, like starting to walk my own path recently, probably within the last couple years, like that I actually felt like, all right, I'm really good at this, and I could be great at this. That's, you know, even after having all the hits and all that, I still felt like I was, cause, you know, listening to the outside world of just having features and stuff like that on projects, and, you know, oh, you know, this guy raps on verses, and, you know, it's always another guy that carries his hooks and and so, you know, I was living with all these fears, so I didn't know technically, was I really as good as I thought I was, or, you know, or hope to be. But it took for me to kind of walk my own path, for me to say, all right, I'm good at this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Walk my own shit, like, all right, I'm doing this.
What's your thought on, this is such a topic in the past 3 or 4 years, man. What's your thought on, ghostwriters? And King, you was asking me if he had ghostwriters, right?
In what format? Well, in what format? Because we got to be specific.
My curiosity was more so whether you was hired to ghostwrite because of all the extensive hit making, you know.
That's not what you asked me. So
What you mean?
You said this Ace Hood have ghostwriters?
No.
This your question,
put that
right?
in context. No, I don't.
No, come on, man. Don't.
No.
Oh, you wanted me to ask that?
I mean, listen. For the record, I do not have any ghostwriters.
Thank you.
I do not have any ghostwriters. Everything from me comes from the inside, from my feeling, me writing and feeling the things that I feel, and me pen and pad and paper and that right then and there. I respect ghostwriters and what they do. I just don't need none. I don't need nobody to orchestrate his.
Have you ghost written for people?
Well, no.
And that's
before
because
you say that, would you ever be like? And this is no knocks you. I'm just curious. Like as prolific and as naturally gifted as you are as a songwriter, if you heard somebody write some shit and it's like, yo, Ace, like take this. Like, would you ever be open to that?
I have to make it my own.
Right. Okay.
I couldn't do that.
Right.
I have to make it my own. Now if we discussing that somebody may come with a hook idea. Hey, I got this hook for you. Then
but that's more collaborative.
But that's the only way that I, like, not saying that I'm not willing to take advice, but for me, the only way it's going to be true if it comes from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and granted, you got some people that can pin exactly what it is that you feeling and exactly what it is that you're going through, but I just choose not to.
Right. Now, what's your career as a ghostwriter? Have you ever ghostwritten for anybody?
I've written, a little bit, but technically to call myself a ghostwriter now.
Tell me some of the local cats that you grew up with that you feel was some amazing MCs in Broward County that inspired you, but nobody ever hear the name mentioned.
In Broward County, In Broward County. Let me see. Well, you had a lot of you had a few local artists back then. I wouldn't necessarily mention their names. That was just honestly speaking.
Right.
Like. How I go being from the same city and,
right.
and like, people have certain, somewhat like weird feelings about certain things.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So, I wouldn't say there was anybody in my city technically that I looked up to. Everybody else that I looked up to, some people was like, wasn't even in music.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's how it might have been Deion Sanders or Bruce Lee or, or like a Bob
Bruce Lee,
Marley or something.
How old is your soul, my dude?
It's not even.
You're not even like how old are you?
I grew up. I feel like
that was supposed to know about Bruce Lee.
I
man.
know, man, but I feel like people should know about that. Right. That's like that's all I used to watch. Is like I thought I was a warrior growing up. I was the actual ninja in my house. You know what I mean? Doing backflips and all that other shit. Like I was always that guy. You know what I'm saying? And I always loved the culture. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? That whole, like, something about me loves the whole discipline, mind, body, and soul, and just being extremely strong and powerful as a human being. I love that, dog. Like, that shit drives me crazy. You know what I'm saying?
So when are you going to write the book, dude? You need to write that book, B.
When the time calls.
Okay.
We got some work to do on the music side, but,
yes,
that book coming. I got some things to prove with this music. I let some people know some things. You know what I'm saying?
Now, the watch you wearing, is that the infamous watch, man?
No. And listen, man, listen, because it's important, and I'm not mad at, my thing was, people was making this fuss, right?
Yes.
And granted, what happened, and I understand that. But, I'm not going to put out no names, but I went to a very reputable jeweler. Nothing that I do, I'm not doing anything fake. I'm not doing anything flawed. That's not my character. That's never been who I was. So when people was going, the people who knew me or like the real, like they knew Ace ain't rocking like that. There's a couple people in the industry too that reached out, was like, yo, man, bruh shit solid. Cause I went to like all your favorite artists, Julie, but things happen. It just had to happen to me.
Let me ask you this, man.
I was like, God damn.
Let me ask you this, man. Everything happens for a reason. And
right,
we're talking about all the spirituality and I totally am on that same level. Like everything happens for a reason.
Uh-huh.
Why do you think the bezel fell off at that moment?
I have no idea, man. I've been asking OG. I've been asking OG for the longest, man. I'm like, why you did that to me, dog? Why you did that?
Moment.
And not even at the moment. It's like, and then it hit the floor and then rolled.
So you had time.
So I'm watching it roll.
The camera went down.
You got to chase that
I'm gonna
bitch.
tell you where I fucked up at, right? Because I'm like focusing. The moment it did it, I'm like watching it roll, and dog seen it, and he watching it roll like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, come on, man, you know what I mean? But for me, it wasn't no big deal to me. I just feel like things happen.
You handled
know
it
what I mean?
gracefully,
Like
man.
sometimes you spend a few $100,000 on cars, don't
Right.
they break?
Yeah,
Don't
of course,
things happen
of course,
to them?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Do that mean that it ain't the right model or anything like that? That just means that it's called life.
Something was faulty.
It's called life,
Yeah,
or it's just
exactly.
faulty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I had a discussion with, you know, to whom it may concern, you know, and we were able to fix it, and we fixed it, and you know, not saying that this is a conversational piece, but I spent, you know, quite a pretty penny for this.
That's a nice piece.
You know what I
sir.
mean? And,
That's
and,
a very
and
nice
thank
piece,
you,
sir.
and thank you.
Yes, sir.
And you know,
on his wrist.
yeah, but it's less about
Yeah,
that.
of
I'm
course,
just
of
happy
course.
that I'm able, you know, to
course.
you know what I'm saying? But either way, it happened. I took it in stride, and I was actually laughing at it all.
No, that's
because
what
you
I
know, people
appreciate
was just because I knew what it was. My guy knew what it was. Like you know, I would feel mad and upset. Like if it was like, all right, cool, damn, I had a fake watch, or damn niggas done. Like it wasn't no thing like that. It was just like,
Damn.
I mean, it happened, and it just happened to happen to me.
Of course.
But
It ain't gonna happen no more.
it ain't gonna happen no more. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yo, Ace, man, I ask everybody this question as we wrap up, man. Like who's your top 5 MCs? No particular order.
My top 5 MC, no specific order. Wayne is one of them. Let's see. At this point in time, Jay-Z is definitely one of them. Kendrick is one of them for me. Who else? Let me take my time because I listen to some dope people. I like Kanye. I like Kanye as an artist.
That's 4, right?
Yeah, I think that's 4. Who else would I say? And I know I'm missing somebody, and I know once I leave, I'm like, fuck, I can't believe I didn't say the name. I would say, I said Jay already, right?
Yeah.
I said Jay. Eminem.
That's a good list, man. That's a good list, man.
Eminem, man.
That's a
Eminem.
good list,
yes,
man.
Sir.
Trust the process.
Trust the process.
New album.
August 21st.
August 21st.
21st, man.
Now, I wish you the best, man.
Thank you, my brother.
Your spirit is really encouraging, man. And I would love to talk to you more and more as your
Thank you,
journey
brother.
unfolds, man. I wish you nothing but the best, and thank you for
You too, my brother.
being an
Both of
inspiration
y'all.
to me and hundreds of people out there, man. Thank you, and God bless you, man.
You too, my brother.
Yes,
Thank
sir. King, what it is, man. Yeah, how you on your Instagram when we doing this
I
interview?
wasn't
man?
on my Instagram.
I seen the Instagram.
I
Why
was-
you
I was-
scrolling,
I had
man?
a question for Ace.
What's
that
the
I wrote
question?
that I didn't have in my notes.
What's the question?
Talk to me, big
Ask
guy.
the
What
question.
car is he waking up to in 2017?
That's a good question.
Exactly.
You know, I'm growing. You know, I'm growing up.
Okay.
I'm growing up. I'm getting older. You know
The
what I'm saying?
Bugatti was
A Prius? You in
I
a
mean,
Prius?
you know, no.
that
I mean, ain't nothing wrong with a
I'm
Prius.
just
We
saying-
save,
Hold on.
We saving the planet.
Ain't nothing.
because you're in your
Ain't listen. Ain't
enlightenment
nothing
period.
wrong with a Prius.
Right.
And nothing. Don't
Right.
get it twisted.
A
Because
Tesla?
it-
You get a little-
Not even. I'm in a Range Rover myself.
Okay, nice.
I drive my Range Rover.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you like a higher, bulky.
Yeah, you know, I like the boss feel, the everyday vibe. You know what I'm saying? I'm scaling down. I'm really, you know, mature. I ain't doing, you know what I mean? I got the Jeep, and yeah, I'm a fan of like the Benzes. That may
Yes,
be
sir.
like the next move.
Nice.
I think those are just, you know, comfortable, real, like
Classy.
low key and just classy. I'm
Yeah,
a man,
yeah,
you know,
economical, right?
yeah,
There you go.
know, so
Yo,
Yeah.
King, what's up, man? Any other questions?
No, sir.
Yeah, well, how we wrapping this up, man?
The saga continues, man. You know, yo, dude, we ending the year soon, man.
Like, what year?
2017.
Already?
We're entering
Nah,
2018.
we going into the we going.
We going
into
to
the
the
last quarter, man.
20s, man.
Yeah.
The 20s. 2020s
If,
ahead.
I mean,
man.
you know, if we still
If we-
around,
yeah, you know.
I mean, God bless. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, man, yo, thanks again, King.
Thank you.
for your continued, support,
Yo,
man.
to the listeners out there, please continue to rate, subscribe, and comment. You know, we still pushing that. Just because we vets at this don't mean that.
Yeah, don't
that
forget the
stops.
Combat Jack Show, man. Shout out to all the podcasters that have followed suit, and I appreciate this community that we have, man. But at the same time, man, we can't do this without your support, man. Like King said, rate, subscribe, comment.
Hit up that voicemail too, 347-746-2080.
Yeah, and most importantly,
It's
man,
still lit.
continue to support Mogul, man. It's on all the platforms as well, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple. Rate, subscribe, comment, man. Somebody told me that it's certain that Mogul's going to be on a lot of top 10 lists at the end of the year, and that can only be possible with your support and your love. So, internets, once again, thank you. You know what it is. Dream those dreams and then man up, woman up, and live those dreams, because the life without dreams is black and white, and the universe flows in technicolor and surround sound. Blah.
I like that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother.